Hola amigos de Keto Club Chile. My name is Josh Perry. I'm a former professional BMX athlete, multiple brain tumor survivor living with 4 brain tumors today, and passionately or an advocate of the ketogenic diet and lifestyle. And I'm really sad that I couldn't be there to celebrate this special day with all of you. Long story short, my flight was at the runway to take off for about 2 hours waiting for the storm to pass. It went from the Gulf all the way to Canada across America from the East Coast, from West Coast to East Coast, and it grounded all our flights, canceled the flights, and I wasn't able to make it. So I at least wanted to share this video of me saying hi and hello and sharing a little bit about my story for those that don't know much about who I am and how I found the ketogenic diet and how I apply that as a lifestyle today. And like I said, I'm very passionate about this lifestyle and sharing it with others. So I just want to create this video to connect with you guys and to share a bit about my perspective of what keto has done for me. And so with that being said, it was March of 2010, I had fallen and hit my head training with BMX one day and had to get an MRI of my brain to see if there was a traumatic brain injury. And that MRI really was a life-changing moment for me because they accidentally found a massive brain tumor taking over the left side of my brain. And I'm really thankful for that crash because had I not hit my head, I'd be dead today. And so what was supposed to be, a typical day riding actually ended up saving my life. And that's what put me on the track of pursuing how to optimize all areas of my life that I had control over, which was mainly my diet and my mindset. And it led me to where I am today following the ketogenic diet. Now, before that, 2009, April 2009 was my first big pro contest win. And that whole year, I had been experiencing a lot of success in my career. It was my 3rd year professionally competing. And this success to me meant a sense of freedom. And that sense of freedom meant do what I want when I wanted, eat what I want when I wanted, and consisted of a lot of late nights partying and a lot of days, pretty much every day, consuming copious amounts of alcohol and processed sugary foods. And because on the outside I was healthy to the doctors, no one ever taught me the actual profound effects that we all know about today of what food can do for our health. And so I thought, because I wasn't overweight, I was a professional athlete, that I was healthy. And the doctors, they verified that with me. Now, moving forward to March of 2010, this was about a year and a half of me complaining these debilitating headaches and migraines to the point where I would vomit and I was losing my vision. And every time I go into the doctor's office, I'd ask for a scan, MRI, X-ray, a CT scan, something to look at my brain. And every time they'd look at me and they'd see my physical shape and then the blood work would show no signs, they would say, "No, you're fine, Josh. You're healthy. You just have headaches. A lot of people have headaches in America. Here are some pain pills. Come back if you need more." And I trusted them. To me, I'm just a civilian. What do I know? They're the doctors. They're telling me I'm healthy, I'm in shape. I don't need to look at my brain. But it took that fall for them to actually need to look at my brain, and I'm thankful they did because that's what found the brain tumor. Now, fast forward about a week and a half, I had the brain surgery, and after 6 hours, 75 staples, 16 stitches later, I was awake and I saw my family, and I just had this new sense of gratitude for my life. And it transitioned from diagnosis to surgery, this perspective piece of, being grateful to have the ability to change my tomorrow with my thoughts and my actions after. I was grateful to still have a shot to live. And not everyone is, granted that ability. And so that's where the perspective passion that I have really initiated, was really that diagnosis and knowing I could do something about it. Now, moving forward, I got back on my bike 5 weeks after surgery, and a total of about 13 or 14 weeks after brain surgery, I was competing again. And life was great. I was back doing my thing, traveling the world, competing. I've been on television now. I'm in the X Games. I have sponsors paying me to live my dream and to support me. And then a MRI in 2012, November 2012, showed 2 new masses had grown back. And my surgeon had said that the complications of the tumor wrap around the artery in my brain and my optic nerve was the reason why these 2 areas grew back, because they couldn't risk getting all the cells, because it could result in, I could be going blind, I could have a stroke, become paralyzed, I could bleed out and die, like all these things. And me being 21 and signing off of these things was a huge perspective moment in my life, just realizing my life is this fragile and I may not wake up. But that's, again, another contributing piece to my passion for perspective. Now, this second diagnosis it left me with challenging what they were saying. They suggested radiation, and I didn't like the sounds of it. And I found a technology called gamma knife radiosurgery, which, despite the name, is outpatient procedure. There's no surgery, and it did its thing. It did its magic. And for 4 years, the two regrowths had shrunk. And I was, very happy about this, as you can imagine. And they've been stable the last 3 years, so it's great news. But that was the second wake up, I say, that led me to holistic health and the ketogenic diet. And it was about a year after the Gamma Knife that I found Dr. David Perlmutter's book, Grain Brain. And that was the first time I'd ever learned about the ketogenic diet. And so I implemented this high-fat, low-carbohydrate way of eating, but I didn't really understand the whole ketogenic aspect of it. It was just a little over my head at the time. And I applied a lot of the principles he talked about, and I saw a lot of success. I started feeling better mentally and physically. My body composition started to improve, and my energy and my ability to not get hangry and to be able to go hours without eating, as opposed to the past when I'd get the hanger aspect. And that was the starting point of me following a ketogenic diet and what I call a lifestyle today. But after that Gamma Knife treatment and, the success that came with it, I started falling back into my old ways of not prioritizing my health and, still eating a high fat, low carb diet and way of eating. But then there'd be times where I would, have some alcohol, things like that. But for the most part, I was following that way of eating. Now, it was February of 2017 where another routine MRI showed 2 new masses now on the opposite side of my brain, leaving me with 4 today. That really initiated me to follow the ketogenic diet 100%. And that's when I started testing my blood to make sure I was in a state of ketosis, make sure my glucose levels were down, started learning about mitochondria and all of these things, using exogenous ketones a little bit afterwards. And because of that, a year later, MRI showed no progression of any of the tumors now. But then 2 new tumors had come back, no medication, no surgery, no treatment, just 100% lifestyle change, which was the ketogenic diet, all in. I went all in on it. And something that all these experiences taught me is that health is internal. And but because the doctors were judging my book by my so-called cover, I almost died. And it literally took a dangerous aspect of my sport, which is what we want to avoid. It literally took that to save my life because it looked at my brain. And not everything is just numbers on the scale or what's on the outside. I believe wholeheartedly that health is internal. And it really showed me that this third diagnosis was another wake-up call to get my act together. And because of it, I'm seeing the success I am today. And I've been fortunate enough to become friends with Dr. Ryan Lowry, which, depending on where this video is played, he either gave a great presentation or he's going to give an amazing presentation. But because I reached out to him one day on Instagram, we connected. Read the Ketogenic Bible by Dr. Ryan Lowry and Jacob Wilson, and just devoured all the information and applied it, more importantly, the best I could. And now, Ryan and I have gone to Dr. Amen's clinics to do SPECT imaging of our brains to see in real time and past, creation of our brain function and, blood flow, things like that, how our brains operate, and then how they operate under exogenous ketones. And then I've been able to go out to ASPE, Ryan and Jacob's facility out in Tampa, Florida, to do more cognitive testing, metabolic testing. And it's really just amazing to be a part of this community and to provide any kind of service or support that I can from what I've gone through. And at the end of the day, that's my why. I want to inspire new perspective in people that leads them to making changes to become empowered to live as healthy, happy, and successful as possible. And by sharing what I've done and what's worked for me and what the research shows. And I'm grateful to be a part of this community with all of you, to be friends with leading researchers and doctors in this field, and to absorb that information, apply it, and share it with others. And again, I can't say enough about how grateful I am to be a part of this community and to be challenging the status quo of what health is to the mainstream. And again, I'm super sad that I couldn't be there with you guys, but I really just wanted to share some of the major points in my life that have led me to where I am today, following the ketogenic diet and lifestyle, and why I believe in this research and this message and this way of living so wholeheartedly. And I really believe it could change lives. It's changed my life in more than one way. And honestly, my favorite piece of the ketogenic diet that I've learned to live with, that I've applied all over my life, is this level of consciousness or awareness. And it leads me to my third principle to live my life by, and that's our reality is a manifestation of our choices. And we have a choice every day of what we put in our mind as our thoughts. And that's going to create an emotional feeling that's going to allow us to, or influence us to act one way or another, make these choices. And at the end of the day, we all want to be as healthy, happy, and successful as possible. And that starts with our brain health and performance and optimization. Everything else is a ripple effect. I say, weight loss is just scratching the surface of what a ketogenic diet can do and has done for me and many others. So again, I'm super grateful to be a part of this community, to have all of your love and support, have your time to share. And again, I'm super sad that I couldn't be there with you guys, but the least I could share my thoughts and my perspectives via this video. And I hope to connect with you guys. I hope to see you guys soon. It's an amazing event. Thank you for Barbara for allowing me to be a part of your community, and I hope to meet all of you guys soon. And yeah, if you guys want to reach out, Instagram, I'm really active on there, but shoot me a message. I'd love to connect. I'd love to hear stories or just see how I can provide support in any way. And I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And I just, yeah, again, I appreciate you. I wish I could be there, but have a great time, and I'll hopefully talk with you guys soon.